And I think, symbolically, at the very end of our lives, if we can still say, you know, we were never humbled, we were knocked down, but we got up, and I can say, I lived life with integrity, and I took all the blows, and I still prevailed, I think that's a good epitaph for anyone. I also realize that you can't be alone. To really succeed, no man really is an island. And I think, personally speaking, that's happened to me too. When you find the right components in your life, the right people that gel with you, then you feel as though you're invincible. It may be a fallacy, but you at least feel as though you can take all that life has to dish out. I had like $106 in the bank, and like I said, I had to sell my dog, and things were not looking very, very good. My $40 car had just blown up, so I was taking a bus to work, but still, it didn't matter. I wanted to stick with it.
This guy, as a young man, had a dream to become a big movie star, to come to Hollywood, and to become a great director and producer and a writer, and all those kind of dreams he had. Of course, everyone told him it can't be done. But, you know, he wouldn't take no for an answer, and he moved across from New York to Los Angeles to Hollywood. And of course, one day, after struggling, like we all do in the beginning, to get into TV and into movies, he had this idea of writing a script. And in longhand, he wrote this script, which was Rocky. The rest is history.
I truly believe, and people throw the word around dreams, it's all about dreams, you know, and by the way, dreams cost nothing, they're free. The hard part is just keeping them going, and please keep them going, because we're here for one simple reason. He believed in the dream, I believed in the dream, and our dreams come true, and there's no reason every one of yours can't either.
I used to sit in this little apartment, and it was a room. As a matter of fact, the room was so small, I remember I was able to open up the window and close the door while sitting on the bed at the same time. It was like 8 feet by 8 feet by 9 feet. But the one thing about that room, there was really very little distraction. So I would sit there propped up in bed, and I'd go out with my big pen and legal pad and just start writing these stories. And most of them were very, very trivial. There was something about the process of unrealized dreams. I was always brought back to this subject because I think it's one of the most enduring subjects and one of the most difficult passages for people to accept, that they never were realized in their own lifetime, that they just didn't get that shot. So I decided it was a time to come to California. So I went to California, and I moved in the valley, and things weren't going very, very well there. As a matter of fact, I had to try to sell my dog because it was either do that or he just was not going to be very well fed around the house. And then one night, I went to see Muhammad Ali fight Chuck Webb. For one brief moment, this supposed stumble bum turned out to be magnificent in the fact that he lasted and knocked the champion down. I said, boy, if this isn't a metaphor for life, his entire life crystallized at that moment. He will be remembered for all eternity, at least among the fight fans. He did something extraordinary. Now that is probably what I need as a catalyst for an idea. A man who's going to stand up to life and take one shot and maybe go the distance. So I started to write. I first met Bob Shardoff and Irwin Winkler, and I believe I was there on a casting call. So we're talking a little bit, and I guess I really wasn't right for the acting part. And on the way out, I said, oh, I don't know if it matters, but I do a little bit of writing. He goes, really? I said, well, he goes, well, bring it around. I thought, if I hadn't stopped on the way out, you know, that's why I tell all actors, don't give up, keep talking. Eventually you might hit a nerve somewhere and they go, come on back. And if they didn't say, come on back, or bring it later and let's see what you've developed, I wouldn't be sitting here. So I have to give incredible credit to their insight and their patience, and they're willing to take a chance, which it doesn't exist much anymore, unfortunately. Originally, when I brought the script to them, they were fairly enthusiastic about it. The one thing they were not enthusiastic about was me playing the part.
The story about you not giving them the script without agreeing to you starring in it, that is true.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was just one of those crossroads situations that every artist faces early on. Go left, go right, and if you make the wrong decision, you sometimes regret it forever. And I just knew I wasn't a very good student, but I decided I always understood dialogue, whatever, so I wrote something that I know I could do, that I could feel good with, and that could show everything that is possible in my repertoire. It was one of those things where you really roll the dice, and it paid off, but it was a big long shot.
But there was something inside of me that you know, this opportunity is never going to come around, and I really wasn't used to money, and I had no idea of what I would be missing, but the temptation started to come forward. First it was 25 grand, then $100,000. I go, well, I never heard of 100,000, because I had like $106 in the bank, and like I said, I had to sell my dog, and things were not looking very, very good. My $40 car had just blown up, so I was taking a bus to work, but still, it didn't matter. I wanted to stick with it. Then it went up to 150,000, 175,000, it went up to 250,000. Now my head was starting to spin, and I thought, all right, you know, you've really managed poverty very well. You've got this down to a science. You really don't need much to live on. I had like sort of figured it out, so I was not in any way used to the good life. I know in the back of my mind, if I sell the script and it does very, very well, I'm going to be very, very upset. So this is one of those things where you just roll the dice and you fly by the proverbial seat of your pants. Say, all right, I got to try it. I got to just do it. I may be totally wrong, and I'm going to be taking a lot of people down with me, but I just believe in it.
I had to teach myself early on, expect to fail. Expect it. Covet it, welcome it, it's going to happen, but it's not a permanent state. The most valuable thing you might have in your life that you really don't pay attention to, especially when you're young, because you just feel you have an abundance of it. It's never ending. Time. And as you get older, you realize time becomes your currency. When you realize there's less runway up ahead than behind, you sometimes learn that too late. So I'm telling you people that you really have to be very, very, very stingy with your time. Don't waste it on people that aren't like-minded. Don't waste it doing things that you know are not part of your dream plan. Don't waste time being bitter, which I know I've been argumentative. I understand the meaning of hate, because in the end, it's just waste your most valuable asset, time. We basically are in a movie from the time we're born. And then when you get to be around 18, 20, you're now the director of your movie, which is called life. And I ask you, knowing that if you were in a movie of your own making, would you be proud of the part you're playing? I certainly wasn't. And I took drastic steps to change all that. The point being, if you're producing this film called You, make it the way you want to make it.